Hello, everyone. My name is Raj. I work at the Literacy Assistance Center. I'm the Adult Education and Professional Development Associate. And I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about how we can introduce collaborative activities in our distance learning classes. Particularly, what I'll be discussing with you a little bit in this video is Zoom, the video conferencing app that many programs have been using as their means of communicating during this time of distance learning. And I'll be talking about one specific feature of the Zoom video conferencing tool, which is breakout rooms. If you're familiar with breakout rooms already, that's awesome. This is the first half, and then the second half, we'll talk a little bit about how we can use that for our activities. The first half, if you're not sure what a breakout room is, a breakout room essentially is a small group, a virtual small group. For the teachers out there, I'm sure you're in class, and when you're addressing your whole class at the same time, that's like the main session of a webinar, right? You're all in the same room together, and you're all listening to the facilitator or engaging with the facilitator directly. What Zoom has in their breakout room feature is if it's the equivalent of if you as an instructor or you as a manager, director, so on, taking your main audience or your student population in your classroom and putting them into small groups. So that way they can work together in smaller, more uniform paces, and you can also check in on them. And that's what you would do in a normal classroom or if we were meeting physically right now. Zoom takes the same logic and implements it into their breakout feature. And what we'll be doing is taking in this webinar, first and foremost, how to enable the breakout rooms, and then what we can actually do with those breakout rooms. So as you can see my screen. On my screen, what you'll see is the Zoom web page. All I did was go to www.zoom.com and it redirected me to zoom.us. What you would like to do then is go straight to your account. If you don't have an account, definitely sign up for one if you plan on using Zoom for your online classrooms. If you haven't used Zoom yet, but you're thinking about it, this is a great way for you to sort of see what you can do with the webinar. If you already have Zoom but don't have breakout rooms yet, this is the first part. We're going to take a look and see how we can enable those breakout rooms. So when you log into Zoom, the first place you want to go to is My Account. After you click on My Account, it will bring you to your personal profile page where all of your settings are open for your Zoom account. Right now, we are looking at mine. Once we're here, what we want to do is go straight to our settings, which is located on the left-hand side of your screen, right under the personal section of your profile. If you click on settings, this is where you'll be able to see all of the different features that you have for your video conferencing and your phone conferencing platform through Zoom. What we want to do is go straight to the in-meeting advanced section. So we can click on this little hyperlink, which will take us there, or you can also scroll down in your screen. If you click on the icon, your screen will move down, and the second option in the in-meeting advanced feature is the breakout room. The breakout room allows the host to split meeting participants into separate, smaller rooms. You also have the option of pre-assigning participants to breakout rooms if you schedule your meetings in advance. You can do that here as well. For the sake of this video, all we're going to do is enable the features so that way you can use them while you're teaching your online class using Zoom. To enable the breakout room, all you would need to do is turn this switch on so that way it is blue. Once it's done, it saves automatically, and now you'll be able to use the breakout room when you're in your Zoom meetings. So at this stage, now that we've enabled the breakout rooms, I'm going to take you over to our PowerPoint, which has a little more information about how the breakout room works. Don't worry, this PowerPoint is available in the description below. You'll have a direct download to this PowerPoint, as well as an example activity that uses the breakout rooms that we just enabled. So what we have here, if you can all see my screen, the breakout room is a free feature that's available in Zoom that allows participants to break out, and we just enabled that. What the breakout room does, after you've logged in and created your settings and enabled it, you are now able to access the breakout room feature. In a new or scheduled Zoom meeting, you can now see the breakout room option on your Zoom toolbar. The longer black bar on your screen is the Zoom toolbar. That's where you can enable your audio, start your video, create chat rooms, share your screen. You can record yourself as well. And at the very end, you'll have an option that says breakout rooms. By clicking the breakout room icon, what it will do is it will take the total number of participants and allow you to group them one of two ways. You can either group them manually, which means you can take all of your participants and decide who will be in which group, or you can do it automatically, which Zoom will do by randomly assigning people to different rooms. That works really well. In the case that you're an instructor who is wanting to may be particular about the groups. Maybe there are some students that have more proficiency than others. There may be other students who haven't been in class in a while and may need to be paired with someone who has been in class for some time. There may be many reasons that you want to pre-assign your groups, and Zoom will allow you to do that. Once you've done that and decided on how you want to assign your participants to groups and how many groups you want, Zoom will automatically make those rooms for you. All you would need to do is click the Create Breakout Room button, and you'll be able to create the breakout rooms that you set up or that have been automatically generated. What's really great about the Zoom Breakout feature for collaborative learning is that students get the chance to work with each other. One of the dangers of distance learning is the talking aspect, that someone is talking at you for 2 hours, or students work on activities independently in class or independently for homework. To introduce or reintroduce that classroom engagement and that collaborative nature of the learning process, the breakout rooms is a place for you to introduce and maintain that classroom culture that you've worked hard to cultivate in your own physical classrooms. With the breakout rooms, what you'll see on your screen is a list of all of your participants arranged by breakout room. Depending on the number of participants you have, the larger group numbers you'll have. What you can control is how long the breakout rooms stay open by changing the breakout rooms close automatically after time. Mine defaults automatically to 15 minutes, but you can set them for as long as you want. Another thing you can do with the breakout room feature and time is that, let's say time expires, and now do students automatically return back to your group? No, they don't. You have the option of keeping the group open as long as you like. Once the group is open, you can keep it open so that students who may need a little extra time with activities or are completely engaged and you've added a new part of the activity to them, for them, you can keep that breakout room going, right? You can also move participants from one group to another, right? Let's say you have an uneven number, or someone joined your class late and now the groups are uneven. You can move participants from one group to another. You can exchange participants from one group to another, and you can unassign participants from one group. So that way, if students need to come back and they need to have a private conversation with you, or if you need to resolve any mismatch in the group numbers, you can do that right away. And also, Zoom has the option of opening new breakout rooms. All of these options that I'm talking about are available to you by clicking the options button in the breakout room itself. And that way you can see exactly how you want your participants to operate in the breakout rooms themselves. What is another really cool feature about the breakout room too is, as you know, physically in class, what you would do as students were in small groups, you would walk around and check in and see how they're doing, formally or informally assessing their content knowledge or their skill knowledge or their acquisition of language. What you can do in the breakout room is one of two things. From the learner's perspective, right? Participants can also, in addition to relying on each other to troubleshoot or answer questions, they can actually signal you for help. what a participant will have on their breakout menu bar, the same bar that you have, is an actual option to raise their hand and ask for help. By asking for help, the host, aka the teacher, would get a message on their device, whether it's a Padlet, a phone, or a computer. They'll receive a small message that says, breakout room 2 needs assistance, right? And you can go straight to that breakout room and go see them by using the join feature, which is available to all breakout rooms. The join feature is something that's available once you see the names that populate in your breakout room. That's actually something that you'll be able to see as well. You can join those breakout rooms and continue to provide your students with that digital assistance. From the teacher's perspective, using breakout rooms, not only are you able to continue fostering classroom culture, but you can also formally and informally assess different groups and different students simultaneously. And you can also broadcast messages to all groups. So that way, if you need to repeat directions or if there are some common questions that you're noticing from the groups separately, you can use the broadcast feature, which is something that's enabled every single time you create a breakout room. You can send a massive chat directly to all of the breakout rooms. So that way, every participant can read the message on their device as well. So now that we've talked about how we can enable the breakout rooms and some of the features of the breakout rooms, how does this foster collaborative activities? And the best way we can do that is connecting it to instruction itself, right? By using the breakout room, we can change the pace of instruction, create more engaging and explorative activities for our students, and we can also create pairs and group activities that address different proficiencies in our classroom simultaneously. And lastly, for this video, some of the things that you should keep in mind when you are teaching with a breakout room are 4 principles. Accessibility is the first. How will your students be able to access the materials that they are doing in their breakout room? This is more of a pedagogical question or an andragogical question about how you're presenting your teaching materials. But nonetheless, when you are in a breakout room, that group synergy is only reinforced by the accessibility to resources that you present to your students, whether it's a reading or a homework or an activity or a supplemental reading, whatever it may be. If everyone is on the same page about how they can get their resources, it keeps the group dynamic in the breakout room successful. The second are the digital tools. What tools will you be using to communicate this collaborative activity that you have created? Are you using Google Forms, Google Docs, Google Slides, Padlet? How will your students be able to complete their activities? The last 2 are really important as well. Broadcasting and timing is something we already talked about. You have complete control of the time you spend or the time you have the breakout rooms open for. And you also have the broadcasting feature, which allows you to continuously keep in touch with everyone while they are working collaboratively on activities. And lastly, group roles. Group roles is a great practice to increase the accountability of collaborative learning. And these group roles could pertain to the type of activity that you're doing, or they can be general group roles as well, such as team leader, writer or scribe, recorder if they're doing a listening activity, or a timekeeper. So that way someone is always making sure that the group is staying on a steady pace. By assigning these group roles, you're creating a classroom structure inside of a small group, just like you would in any physical class. So that way students can maintain their own roles and do the assignment, even if you can't physically or digitally be in the breakout room with them. So these are 4 steps in which you can use the breakout room. For more information about the types of activities that you can do with breakout rooms, click on the description in the video and you'll be able to download all of the slides that I just showed you, in addition to the way to set up a very, very comprehensive reading strategy called 5-4-3-2-1, which is aimed at improving summarization. What you'll see is a step-by-step process on how to set that up using the Zoom breakout room and what a finished product actually looks like. If you have any questions at all about the video or any questions about using Zoom or how do I get on, how do I use breakout rooms, or some other activities that you would like to run by, please send an email at any time. My email is in the PowerPoint and I'll leave my email here. It is rajus@lacnyc.org. Once again, that's rajus@lacnyc.org. Thank you all very much.